Fortnite, yeah, Fortnite. The game that just can't die. Just like the low taper fate. But you know what can die though? Creative maps inside of creative mode. Now, if you haven't been living under a rock the past few years, then you'll know that creative mode is basically Fortnite's version of Roblox Game Maker and Minecraft creative mode, mashed into one abomination of bugs, frustration, and brain rot copy and paste maps. But let's go back a few steps. Maybe a few seasons, or even chapters. Multiple maps have come and gone, like let's say there was a really popular Zone Wars map that people enjoyed, but then after a while of no updates, this led to everyone leaving the map, thus abandoning it. This can also refer to the creators of these maps just straight up leaving them to rot in the deep dark trenches of their creator pages. Now that's what I'll be discussing today. Different maps that have been abandoned either by their creators or people that just don't play them anymore. But what isn't abandoned is my Discord server, which y'all should definitely go join. I'm trying to get it to 100 members so I can start doing better events like giveaways, art competitions, and more. Oh yeah, also, I'll post pictures of my cats and my dogs there if we do reach the goal. So go join. Link in the description. Alright, now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and check out some abandoned Fortnite maps. Valhalla is a pretty old but pretty impressive Fortnite map. It was made in Creative 1.0 and it actually looks like something straight out of UEFN. But the pretty looks aren't all this map is made for. It's also pretty fun. I remember playing the absolute hell out of it during early chapter 4 as that's when it was peaking in my opinion. In Valhalla, you play through a story of going to different realms and fighting fiends and bosses while also upgrading at different anvils around the different areas. Now looking at the player count, we could tell that the people still do play this map, though not much, as also the map doesn't get updated anymore, which is pretty unfortunate because this map is pretty fun. Though something I found surprising when playing it again was the fact that there was little to no bugs except for maybe the pop-up messages being a little wonky. But other than that, the game is still pretty polished. Also, while playing this, I noticed I was getting a lot of XP for killing fiends. Now granted, I had max damage output, so I was mopping the floor with these fiends. I do highly recommend you give this map a try if you want some decent XP and are looking for a semi-story, semi-open world based map. I think it's really sad that this map was abandoned in favor for Valhalla boss fight, which is the most abysmal sequel in my opinion. But yeah, this map is pretty good. Sucks that it got abandoned, and I give it a 9 out of 10. Micro Royale was at one point on top. It had some pretty cool additions because of the power of UEFN. It had cats, dogs, and a T-Rex. The map was limited to the fact that it was a mini BR though, which is a genre of maps that is basically a small version of Battle Royale. These maps don't usually live longer than a month as people get bored and play something else. This map is still pretty well polished though, surprisingly. It seems really fun, but since there's nobody playing it, I decided to grab me and a few friends to drop in and try it out. Now remember what I said earlier about it being polished? Well, scrap that, because in reality it's only well polished for single player. As grabbing 2 others to play with me, it took nearly half an hour just for us to load into the map and for all 3 of us to spawn in, as one of us took a whole match to load in. Now, is this the reason it fell off? Probably yeah. But anyways, this map does look really nice and is still well made. I am still surprised that this doesn't have at least like 10 or 15 people on at a time, but that might just be the small part of me that wishes cool maps like this lived longer and were a little more polished. So what would be my final rating of this map? I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Pretty basic, but pretty buggy. Battle Ops is if Fortnite and Call of Duty Black Ops 3 had a baby. The map has an actually really good lobby and some unique gun shops. This game has only 2 maps though, Apex and Shootout. At least I think it is. I don't know, I haven't played any Call of Duty in a long while. This map was barren, devoid of any human life because, well, there ain't nobody playing this. I remember back in, I think it was chapter 3 season 3 when I started playing the game again since chapter 2 season 5, this map was one of the first creative maps I actually played and enjoyed. Though since I was complete butt at the game, I was getting my BBL enhanced mega ass handed to me the whole time. When I came back to this map to check it out for the video, I couldn't help but notice that the damage zones weren't working, so it allowed me to go out of bounds and travel across the areas that weren't meant to be seen by regular players. Walking around these places was kinda eerie. It kinda felt like those times when you'd be in a building and walking around in some area that you know you're not supposed to, or when you were a kid and found a way to glitch out of bounds in a game. And feeling the complete emptiness also kind of just gave me a bit of a feeling of loneliness. But this isn't my Fortnite Creative Strange Liminal Feeling video, so enough yibber yabber about the out of bounds stuff and the actual map itself. The game itself is really buggy and most definitely was abandoned a long time ago. So as for a rating, I gotta give it a 6 out of 10 for effort. Survival Rush. I remember when this was a 1.0 map, when the terrain and builds were simple and you could actually find players running around. The 1.0 version is actually what inspired me to start making creative maps that were open world, though many of these were really crappy. If you want to see me revisit some of my old creative maps though, definitely comment down below. Anyways, back to the current version of Survival Rush. I think what killed this map was to jump from a small confined map to a map that was way too big and with not enough detail. I remember being really bummed out when I first played the UEFN version, as it didn't feel as interesting or as fun as the 1.0 version because there was literally nothing to do anymore. Now, yes, the map has gotten updates here and there, but it always feels pretty lame and underdeveloped in a way. And yeah, I get it, UEFN is a damn bitch to deal with and bugs like crazy, so I guess I can somewhat see why the map's development flipped. I think what really kills this map is the fact that the map is massive, and in a lobby full of people, seeing someone else would be like seeing Bigfoot. Also, the fact that nothing is really clear to you in the first like 45 minutes, so you'll be running around like a headless chicken for the whole time. And really, once you get good loot, there's really nothing else to do other than dying and doing the exact same thing over again. It's like Battle Royale, but if it was really bad. But I'm not trying to say that the creators didn't at least put some effort into the map. It wasn't enough to make people stay, and it unfortunately was left for dead in the deep, dark trenches of the Fortnite creator space. If I were to give it a rating, I'd give it a solid 4 out of 10. Now, lastly, I'll talk about a map that was made by a big YouTuber, being Coin Clash by CypherPK. This map died because Oni Studios didn't update it at all, and it wasn't getting promotions and glaze from Cypher like Rocket Wars was getting. Now, I think recently as of writing the script, CypherPK made a video where he revisited the map and got feedback from people who were actually playing it. Though nothing came from it, and the map is still dead, just like my dad. I miss my dad. Anyways, the map was basically a pet simulator, but also a box fights map, but also a base building game, and also a minigames game. Oh yeah, it also had gambling, which is probably the best feature of this map. I'm honestly surprised this map isn't doing well. It's a really interesting and unique idea for a map, and it has a big name YouTuber to back it up. So it's really a wonder as to why it flopped. Though it's not like any of Cypher's other maps are doing well other than Rocket Wars. I think what certainly killed the map was the amount of bugs it had and how goddamn colorful it was. Like, I love a good colorful map, but holy crap, this is a slog to the eyes. I think the saturation was toned down a bit, the bugs were fixed, and CypherPK actually did more stuff with it, then that would certainly fix the map's player count. If I were to give it a rating, I'd have to give the map a solid 8 out of 10. Now, I'm not trying to say if I uploaded a map, it would do well. Hell, I still make maps in Creative 1.0 that I pretty much know are never coming out, but it's still fun to do. Now, here's where I'll be ending the video. If you made it this far, consider dropping a like, comment what your favorite dead map is, and subscribe to keep in the algorithm, and while you're down there, consider joining my Discord server. And if we get to 100 members, I'll post pictures of my dogs and my cat there, so go join and hang out. And finally, I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. Bye!